First of all, my name is Roy Wassup. I grew up in Seattle, Washington.
Mr. Jab Nash, what's up, brother?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
My name is Kylie Hampton. I also go by Killa or Kai. I was born and raised here in Seattle, really Renton, Washington.
Me and my 4 youngest siblings end up moving in with my dad's mom.
Welcome to another episode of Talk of the Town podcast, where we highlight, promote, and archive Black and BIPOC history and culture. Today we've got a very special guest who's actually promoting our podcast right now, Najee Ladd Ali. I knew it was hyphenated something. And he also has his own business, FlyAboveAthletics. So go check him out. We'll get into that a little bit later. But what's up, my brother? Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you want to start off the episode with just telling the people briefly just who you are, what you're about, and what you have going on right now.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate this. This is a vibe. It's real.
Sure.
It's genuine. And, I want to rock the glasses with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Glasses, so I put mine on. It's not it's a vibe. So I'm trying to join the vibe.
Yeah.
But Fly Above is, man, something that comes from the heart. It comes from, experiences. It comes from pain. My grandfather, Gary Ladd, it really starts like my mom, Dinah Ladd, who was an educator and administrator. My dad, Najee Ali, who works for Boeing. He works with planes and parts and stuff like that. And my grandfather as well, who was a basketball player and a pastor. And so I kind of combined my mom with the whole motivation and optimism and things like that, and motivation, and speaking and all that. And then I combined that with my dad working with planes. And then my grandfather always talked about, after, when he went into pastoring, I think freshman year, 8th grade, it's actually the church in Rainier across from the funeral home. Mm-hmm. That's where my grandfather used to have church. And he always talked about the power of God being in you. And I never really understood what that meant until, as I grew and got older and started to go through things. But that's where Fly Above started. So it's Fly Above, the power is in you. Yeah, I'm incorporating other sayings that have to do with my experiences and things that I know and how I activate my mind now and my body and how I move and how I think. Not perfect by any means, by the way, but I'm just trying to combine everything into one, and then empower people, and then inspire people. And now I just want to really, talk about what I've been through and up until this point, and how I balance things and how I think. But Fly Above is about the power of God, or whatever you believe in, being internal. It's an internal thing. What's going on now? You got the Oculus, you got the AI. They're starting to try to control the narrative and have us thinking that the power, spiritual power, is outside of us, or the spiritual power doesn't exist, and we have to get that certain type of power and reach out externally, right. Sociologically speaking. When we look at the balcony, you look from the balcony and look down. If you're able to see everything, that's what's going on in the world today. So on a spiritual level, we gotta know that peace and that power comes from within, and that's what Fly Above is, and it's about action too. Shout out to Sankofa too, Africa Town. It's all about action. It's about thinking and doing. And that's what I'm about now. I've always wanted to be about that, and now I'm doing it. And I'm blessed to be able to, speak about it and talk about it at the same time.
Yeah, man. I want to say happy late belated birthday to your daughter.
Yeah, shout out to my daughter Zuri out there, Zuri J, and she's my little light, my special. She's just everything to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I love that girl.
Yeah, I want to touch on how far you came with Fly Above. Starting with partnering with Watch, upstairs in the gym. Because before there wasn't nothing up there. When I came to work out with you, I see turf, all types of equipment and everything. I'm just like, okay, so talk about how far you came from the beginning until now.
Man.
And I know you're still growing and still want to add on to it. So talk about it.
So for one, I want to say shout out to Donald Watts and his family, Isaiah and the whole family. I appreciate them for allowing me to be within the space and work with me and be patient with me and allowing me to grow. Fly Above really started. I started from Part to Part, 2015 out of college. Well, actually, I started at Wazoo. To be honest with you, I stopped playing football, and then there was a homie from LA. What's his name? I think it was Hollywood or something like that. And his nephew played on the team, and I would go at nighttime with Mike and to help them train. And so when I stopped playing, I was going to school, and at nighttime I would just be in the practice gym at Wazoo. And then I met a kid named Ike Urebu who played on Team Nigeria. He played for the Clippers a little bit. He became Wazoo's starting point guard, and he was actually my first athlete that I ever worked with. And then after that I graduated. I went through a depression actually. I want to tell y'all. I'm going to lead up to that.
I was going to ask you later on the show. But you can go ahead.
Well, okay. So I went through a little depression. I'll just keep it short then. I went through a little depression with not playing sports, because that's something that I did all my life. In Seattle, it's basketball. I've been doing this since I was like 3, and realized that I'm not going to make it to a certain level. It messed with my head, so I had to figure out which route I was going to go. But anyways, I started there, and long story short, I ended up coming back home and subbing in a school district. And I was like, okay, I want to train. I want to stay in education. I want to give back. How do I do this? And I just started doing Lyft and Uber. And what I would do is, while I was coaching at Garfield, shout out to Ed Haskins who put me on at Garfield to start off. What I would do is I would do Lyft, Uber, make the money, cash out the money, go buy my training equipment while I was scheduling clients. Then I'll go train the clients for free, and then I would record and do all my content myself as I go part to part. And I'll have all my equipment in my I think I had like a little Impala at the time in my trunk, and I was driving part to part, training whoever I could. Literally, that's what I did and how I started off. And then it got to a point where it's like I need to make money. So then I started, charging like $25 a person or whatever. And then, I started training out of like Planet Fitness and stuff. And I built a relationship with the people there, and they allowed me to train. And then after that, I went to my high school beach. Shout out to George Foster. And I was able to get access to beach and train my clients through there and try to help the kids there as much as I could at the time. So, and COVID hit. And then that's when I was like, my lady, Naima Clark, shout out to her. Got to give a shout out to her. People support me. And shout out to my sisters as well, Asia Ali and Samari Ali. Man, it's all about the family at the end of the day, my parents and stuff. So I want to make sure I shout them out. Because that's the mental part. They got me through. That same time I was leading up to that to figure out this gym situation. I just talked to Donald, and I had something to offer, and we made a deal together, and made a contract, and I just got going from there, really. But I was in a space where I didn't really know where I was going to go. To be honest with you, I was like, didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it, and I was able to come out some situations, which we'll touch on, I guess, and I was able to see that and and make it happen, and here I am now, and having the support of friends and family supporting me to make that space to what it is today. So yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
And you got a cold story, bro. And I know that wasn't even really in depth, but thank you for sharing all that, bro. For real.
Sure, bro.
So for those who want to get in contact with you and get a good workout in, where is the facility that you train out of?
So it's 1644 Occidental Avenue South. It's next to T-Mobile Park, where the Mariners play. A lot of my following, which is it's a blessing as well. It really has been word of mouth. Everything that I've been doing, I don't really market my training as much. It's just all the hard work and consistency I've done over the years, I guess. And the good energy just comes back, and people reach out, hit me up on Instagram. I love the Instagram thing because it's like engaging, and I'm a real personable person. I'm not the type of dude to like, put an arm bar up or like, I like to try to, be open and connect with people. So, yeah.
Y'all got anything?
I do. So, okay, I kind of like looked through your website and stuff. So, It said that you've been giving back since about 2015. How have you been giving back, and what is the motivation behind that?
So, my first thing that I ever did actually was a coat drive. I think around like maybe 2016, 2015. It was in the South End, and I gathered a whole bunch of coats and stuff and clothes and went to the shelter down in the South End, and I just pulled up and took out all the clothes and just gave everybody in the shelter clothes. So that was like the first thing that I kind of ever did. The motivation behind that and just giving in general, when we go back to the root of it, is my mom. She was head of McKinney-Vento in Seattle School District, and she kind of created the structure of McKinney-Vento. McKinney-Vento is a program within the district that helps all schools of homeless families. And I was always like behind the scenes with her or learning about it, and I watched her create it. And so that's why I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to keep this going. And right now, I do things like free workouts at the gym every Wednesdays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm at Banu Men's Home in the Central District, which was created by Joaquin Africatown. I go there every Monday right now, 5 p.m. to 6, and I do a free hour workout for all the men there. And some days we do juices and stuff. I juice, and we, I introduce the men to healthy eating and stuff like that. I have some partnerships with some schools as well. RVLA, I did a little partnership with them in the summer last year. And then there's another school in the Central District that's currently closed down. We had a partnership where we went in, we did fitness classes and teach the kids fitness and things like that. So giving back, through that as well, the nonprofit side. Shout out to Marvina Kemp, who was my fiscal. The Marvin Thomas Fund, that is also another way that I'm able to figure out how to create more ways to give back to the community as well. So,
I just want to give you your flowers, just for like what you're doing in the community, giving back, like you said, the free workouts on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Like,
appreciate
it's
that.
really, I just want to give your flowers on that because it's dope, especially being black. You know what I'm saying, in the community. So.
Right.
Thank you. And shout out to Nurturing Roots, and that's us coming together. Man, Nurturing Roots is a black-owned farm owned by Naima Clark, and I was blessed to, to have that opportunity so we could come together to provide a space consistently for actually this has been going on for almost 2 years now. Been doing this for free, so yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that.
There's that term, health is wealth. I'm sure you've heard it. What does that mean to you? Especially being with, especially in the industry you're in, but then also, training athletes and training just the average person who's maybe not an athlete, but just wanting to get back in shape or get in shape. Health is wealth. What does that mean to you when you hear it?
I think for me, it's just having, just knowing who you are and having that mindset to be consistent and to figure out how to have a peace of mind and incorporate like meditation and healthy eating. I was vegan for like 5 years, and that was really motivated from my grandfather, Gary Ladd, who passed of a heart attack 2016, who actually, pretty much took his last breath in my hands when I was trying to save him. So after that day, it was like, okay, if he was telling me all these things before he passed, how I need to watch this and watch that. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to start now.
As far as eating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, eating and because eating and all that stuff has to do with the whole health is wealth thing. You can't say health is wealth if you're not being intentional about taking care of your body and what you put in your body. Because we are what you eat. When I was playing football at Wazoo, I was eating steaks. I was huge. I started thinking, I'm mad all the time. I'm angry. And then when I started to change my eating habits, my whole energy started to change, being more at peace, and I started to learn more. I'm like, okay, that's why I was acting like that. That's why I was feeling that way. I haven't ate beef in like 7 years now, literally.
Bro, my dad hasn't eaten beef since I'm 20. Not to cut you off.
No, you're good, bro.
My pops hasn't eaten beef in over 20 years. I think he said since I was born. I'm 27, so he's been on that same thing, and it's crazy how the information doesn't get passed down. So I know you have a daughter and things like that. Are you raising her vegan? Are you raising her plant-based, or are you letting her kind of dibble and dabble with like meats and stuff?
So like the vegan thing was more like a journey of learning for me. I know there's some vegan stuff that's bad for you too. Yeah. So like right now I do eat some meat here and there. Yeah. I balance it all. With my daughter, I just, you know, I'm not the type of father, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to like just push things on my daughter, you know. I'd rather, you know, just bring it to her and see like you like it, you know, or maybe I'll make something and don't tell her and just sit back and she's like, it's good, Daddy, and I'm like, yeah, that's not, you know, that's healthy, like, you know. So, you know, it's more so just leading her to it and then just seeing if she likes it and then letting her have a voice and speak and telling me how she feels about it, and then it's like, okay, cool, all right, cool, you know, that's what's up. You don't like it, that's fine. You know, if you like it, we can expand on it and keep you know, experimenting and trying it out.
Right.
Wait, so are you still vegan right now?
Nah, I'm not vegan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not vegan.
But you still eat like certain vegan things. Okay.
Yeah, I eat some stuff. I eat a lot more fruit and vegetables. You know, I have some teriyaki chicken, or you know, if I'm eating out, I have like a backup. If I'm out somewhere, especially if it's late, I'll go like this taco truck, because when I was in Tulum and visiting the Maya ruins and all that kind of stuff and meeting the Mexican people, you know, who are our brothers and sisters too, you know, I started to realize how healthy the Mexican food is. And then they told me the closest to Mexican food are the food trucks out here. So when I came back, I always make it a point, like I literally go to the food trucks all the time. I talk to them, I build a relationship with them, and then like at nighttime, there's certain things are closed. So I always know the food truck may be open, and I'll get a veggie burrito, all fajita veggies, no dairy. I don't eat dairy at all. And you know, if it's in a little sauce though, you know, I like sauces, like aiolis and all that. I'm a sauce guy, so I'm not gonna trip. And I know there's butter, you know, so that's another thing. I don't stress myself out like I used to.
Right.
I don't
Trying
have
to be
time
super,
for that. You know, uptight.
Right.
But yeah, so I hit the food trucks and get the burritos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but like I said, like, you know, like I tell people, I'm not no health expert, nothing like that. That's just going off of my experience and my journey and what I'm figuring out and learning, and I'm just trying to learn, really.
Right.
Real quick, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
All right, so if I'm in the basketball game, if I'm here, I got the ball in my hand, I get it, turn, and I dunk. Stay up, white chest, tight core, shoulders down. Stay up, squeeze tight. Tight. Tight, there you go. That's good. Long arms. There you go.
All right. Thank you guys for staying tuned with us. We're back from commercial break with Najee Ladd Ali. My fault.
So I kind of want to get back to, so you watched your grandfather pass in front of you. I had the same experience. I was 12. My grandmother died. I was in the room with her. So I know like how it is to carry that first, like watching that is just shocking. And then I don't know how old you were at the time, but I was 12. So like just carrying that for a long time and like not really understanding the concept of death itself. Like how old were you and how did that affect you till even now, if that's the case?
Shoot, I was coaching at Garfield. It was my first year coaching. And I was 23, 24. I graduated at 23, 24, something like that. So yeah, I was still young. That was my first time experiencing death, someone that's real close to me. And man, it hurt. Yeah, it was weird. Literally just staying with his body the whole entire time, and then family coming in, and then the firefighters like announcing his death and stuff like that. To me was like crazy.
Did they like do the prayer around, like I don't know if your family's into that? Yeah,
we're definitely into prayer. It was hard because it was like my grandma was downstairs, you know, folks outside screaming, so it was like it was kind of hard to like everybody come together to do that. We mostly kind of did that after, you know. But yeah, that was my first real life like experience that kind of tried to change me a little bit on my approach and how I think. You know, after that experience, the next experience that, you know, I don't know if you want me to keep going or
Speak freely.
Really is like during COVID. I had it severely at the time. I trained a kid. I was training my clients at my apartment, and I trained a kid, and he gave me COVID or whatever, and I had it severely, and literally almost died. Went to the emergency room and all that kind of stuff. But decided to heal myself at home because I had a friend named Javon who we had all these remedies and things from doctors that knew about it. So he gave me a list of things to heal myself at home, and I went back home because I was told not to go to the doctor. So I healed myself at home. At that same time, I was in court fighting, to get time with my daughter, and that was another experience. Coming, from my family. Jab knows my family's pretty big, and our fathers are heavily involved. So, and we're very connected to our kids. So, representing myself, I didn't have a lawyer. I taught myself law, really, and I met with another guy who was a lawyer, and I paid him a little bit of cash to teach me. And then I literally taught myself law, and I hooked up with the dad's program, and I taught myself how to go through all the documents. I disciplined myself to sit, focus on it. And then my lady, she helped me too as well get through it. And I went just head to head, really, just to be really honest with you. I went head to head with her, her lawyer, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to, the moms and stuff like that. Z has a great mom, so I respect that. But I had to do what I had to do as a father to protect myself and make sure that things are in place so I can know that, I'm gonna see my daughter. So big shout out to Dad's program as well, Miss Jeanette and those guys in Marvin, who had gave me an award last year, the highest award within their organization. So I really appreciate that. But battling in court with my daughter and then having COVID at the same time, and I wasn't kicking it or partying or nothing like that. I'm very disciplined, I'm very respectful. I don't really party and kick it like that. I'm very focused, so I wasn't being out of line. I was just, helping a kid, and he gave it to me, and then at the same time I happened to be in court to fight for my daughter. So mentally, that's where the health is wealth come in. I started really meditating really, 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 really heavy, and I started focusing on my mind and getting my body and my spirit right. And I had another group of men who did Bible study. I wish I knew their names. Matt Strong from the Seahawks, Michael Todd. I used to meet with these brothers too during that process, and we would study the Bible. And they're real. It's all about having real men around you that's going to challenge you, right. And tell you like it is, and tell you what you need to do, and to not tell you what you want to hear. So that experience with meeting with them also built me and helped me get through that situation. So I'll stop there, and we could talk more about other stuff.
Well, I just want to say, man, shout out to you, because there's always this narrative in the world about black men and black dads, especially, not being there for their kids and not wanting to be there, or whatever the stigma stereotype is. So can we give him a round of applause for fighting? You know what I mean? To try to be with his daughter and stuff like that, and then winning and being able to have that time with your daughter.
It's half and half. Like she's
right.
Not like
no, not to down nobody.
Yeah.
But for you, to give you your flowers, bro, because again, in the world, there's just so much stuff that gets thrown out there about black dudes not wanting to be with their kids or not taking care of their kids, and that's not always the case. Yeah. It's always it's circumstantial. So shout out to you for doing what you felt like was best, to keep the family close.
For sure.
Yeah.
So was this when depression started to hit, or did it hit before all this?
Yeah,
I had two stages.
Let's go back to that.
Yeah, I had two stages of it, man. My first one was at Wazoo. I'm living on a blow-up mattress. I'm working at Jack in the Box. Like, people know, I stopped playing. I'm working at Jack in the Box. I was in theater, and I got this big role there, actually.
For the people out there who are watching who don't know, you stopped playing what?
Football. Mm-hmm. Altogether.
And what year was this?
2014. I was on basketball scholarship at Central Washington, and then I switched sports because I played both all my life. Mm-hmm. And then I switched because in my mind, I'm thinking about the money. Like, okay, it's probably a better chance if I get paid playing football. Mm-hmm. So I was heavily recruited for football at high school. I had some looks, had some visits to Oregon and all that, but I took the basketball scholarship. And then that's when I switched over and all that stuff, and played for Mike Leach and walked on. It was a crazy journey to that. Like, I was at University of Houston, actually. They found me on YouTube. I did a YouTube video. UCF discovered me, Houston discovered me, and there was another Division I school all contacted me and reached out. Houston is the one I chose to go in and visit. And then a lady lied about my credits. I had a 3.5 in college, and she lied about junior college transfers credits, and she got caught. This white lady.
What did she say when it was a lie?
she tried to say I didn't have enough credits to come into the school to play. So she got caught because she did it to me and some other players.
Wow.
And then I got the call from the head assistant coach. He told me about it. He was like, hey man, you can stay here, you can go back home. So I literally flew to Pullman from Texas and stayed at my cousin Mike's house on the floor. And they got word I was there, the coaches, and I turned down a men's warehouse contract too, modeling contract, because I chose football. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo.
I did all that at the same time. I turned that down and went to start training camp at Wazoo. And then, after that, I played and was playing injured through training camp, and it didn't really work out how I wanted to. I'm older, so I'm 21 now. I'm like, life after sports is probably about to hit. Mm-hmm. And that's when, I stopped playing, and then I started working and all that stuff. And I didn't talk to nobody from home. Went through like a little depression, and my mom reached out to me, checked on me, and she brought me here to the school district building. I met Brent, who is also the superintendent now in Seattle schools. We built a relationship. My mom's friends with him, and he brought me in his office. He said, man, he showed me pictures of his wife. He showed me, he got his PhD or master's and all that. He was like, hey man, like I'm friends with a lot of athletes and stuff like that. This is not the end all be all. You could still make money. You could do this. You could do that. So don't, think just because you don't play sports anymore, you're nothing. So he set me down and really had a direct conversation. After that day, that's when I went into the school district and I started coaching and training and, and I started to see myself differently because, being from here, we only see black men playing sports. Jamal and we seeing, I grew up, Nate, we grew up seeing that. I ain't see no superintendent. I didn't see no lawyer. I didn't see no entrepreneur. Literally, we're doing that now. Right. So, it was one of those. I had that social identity threat, which is coined by Claude Steele, who made Whistling Viva Lati as a book. It's a social identity threat. We experienced that because, we don't get exposed. We're not exposed to people that look like us. And so that can cause us to be in a box. And then psychologically, we're stuck. And we're in that small town mindset feeling like we only could do certain things when we could do a lot more than that. Yeah.
That's like what we were just talking about with
Kev.
Yep, Kev and Jaden. They
Kev.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Kev.
Yeah.
And Jaden.
I want to talk about the meaning behind the pineal gland energy. Mm-hmm. I think we were talking about that earlier.
You the first ones to have this shirt, right?
Yeah.
And I am hating because I didn't get a shirt and I don't got
my family. They
cool
don't got it either.
But it's okay.
Shoot, I got one made for my daughter though. She got one off for me, so.
Okay.
But I got you on the shirts.
Yep.
Shoot, I want to double back on something though, because 2022, there's something that happened that led me to really get into this training more into the way the gym looks. Before we get to that, and pineal energy comes into that too. But my sister was shot in a drive-by on Henderson, her and her boyfriend, in 2022, I think, in the summer, like before my birthday, actually, in June. And that right there was like that third life experience, aside from depression and all that kind of stuff, that drove me to work for myself. And so I left education completely, and I worked for myself for 2 years before I went back in January to help out the charter school. And that moment right there just showed me life was too short. I went from going through what I went through to almost like I'm living in a movie and changing, cleaning the bullet hole in my sister's side and stuff like that. I never thought in my life I would experience nothing like that. And so that right there changed me a lot. It made me push through, helped me push through. Looking at her at 18 with a bullet hole in her, I'm like, okay, I need to, life is short. I'll never know when I'm going to go. If I'm going to get hit, I start thinking about stuff like that because it was an accident. And so, Samari, shout out to her, graduated from Arizona State this past year as well at 21 years old. She's 21. She graduated at 20 with her degree with the bullet still in her. And so she motivates me a lot. And she's been a lot of my big motivation with pushing through and stepping up, and how I was able to go further with that gym. She inspired me a lot through that, because I didn't, it was a tough one, seeing my little sister, and I'm the oldest, and then not responding. That was tough for me, because you can go out of character. I'm real cool, but I'm all about family. and stuff, and then, you know, and I start thinking, you know, about certain things that I could do, but then, you know, I got a daughter and stuff, so I got to do things the right way and really be smart about it. And so yeah, that was another experience that I've been through with you know, my sister and you know, stuff like that. But and there's other things I want to hit on too, but that pineal gland energy really is the part of the brain. So I've always kind of known about it. You know, you got the secret serum. I don't know if you guys know about that. So, you know, the serum, you know, the liquid through the body, the fluid, you know, the fluid is the liquid plasma. You know, there's a way we take care of our bodies, and if plasma can reach the pineal gland and elevate our mind on a metaphysical level, on a spiritual level. Because, you know, we got to know the halo that you see on cartoons and stuff, they're really just telling us that that's where the heaven is. And you break down the word heaven, that breaks down to a biological, or I think a biological term in the brain. You know, the cranium, like the brain, really, that's where all the spiritual things happen within the brain. So the pineal gland is a part of the brain. The way you access the pineal gland is through your 33 vertebrae. And that is the sign 33. You know, they say Jesus was 33. You know, everything happens 33 degrees. You know, that's the others. That's some deeper stuff. But through the spine is how you connect through the spiritual part, spiritual realm. You know, not drinking alcohol and stuff like that. Sex is a big thing. How to preserve yourself for sex, and how to increase the mind and preserve and you know, fast and things like that. And so the pineal gland energy is having a discipline to know how to activate the mind, body, and spirit, literally, you know, internally, and knowing the truth behind the words that they give us here. You know, we talk about heaven, we talk about, you know, chakras and all that kind of stuff. It's really how to do it, and there's a way to do it. And that's what they don't want us to know.
And that pineal gland is also like an AKA for it, is the third eye. Right? You know, so you got your two, and then the third eye, opening your third eye. I've had some experiences with meditating and tapping into that plasma, which we were talking about, and opening up my pineal gland, and it was a dope experience, and I hope everybody can ever experience it, because it's different. It pushes you on a different level. You know what I mean?
But it's dangerous, though. I didn't even cut you off too.
No, that was it.
Well, I'm saying it's dangerous because, and this is what I experienced too. Like I said, I'm not perfect. Like, as a man too, is something that I've been really working hard on myself to be a better man. You know, my decisions and temptation and things like that. If you have that energy and you know about it, and then you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not being intentional about what you're supposed to do, it will come back to you quick. Like, when you start to tap in and you start to know certain things, what I realized, if you don't do the right thing, it'll come back to you like that. And so that's something that is like valuable, that, you know, when we're on our journey, what I'm realizing, especially on your journey, we're all on our journeys. Once you start to really figure it out, you definitely got your intention. You got to be intentional about everything. You got to really like watch what you do, how you treat people, your moves, even when people don't see you, what you think, because it will come back quick. And it's karmic. It's like a really karmic energy. That karmic energy is a serious thing. I learned that in Egypt, for real. That energy is powerful. So that's the thing I'm learning, you know, how to really be mindful of that, how to move better, how to think different, how to be a better man, how to make better decisions, how to not let temptation plague me and stuff like that, and you know, stay focused and stay on course. And that's where I'm at now. And I have a therapist, you know, I have a therapist as well for the brain, and then I have a therapist for comedic science. Shout out to Heru, who does the comedic piece. So
I'll have to plug me in with that, that comedic one, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, just hearing like just most of your story and just the things that you've gone through, and like you've been blessed to have so many options of what you can do. Like you're constantly going back and forth between, you could have done this, you could have done this, but looking back, do you feel like it's been like divinely orchestrated, that you're in the right place now?
You said divinely orchestrated?
Yes.
Okay.
And like you're in the right place now, rather than like, do you have any regrets like looking back, or do you feel like you're in the right place now?
You know, I used to have some regrets. I used to have like some problems with like, I want to be validated, you know, I want to, all that kind of stuff, you know, and that's the whole competing sports mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's where that came from. And I ain't really worried about that no more. So you're right. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, because there's some things that I needed to work on as a man, that, you know, is the reason why, you know, if I do want more, or I do want to do something, there's some things that I needed to work on so I can have those things. I can do those things. So yes, divinely, I'm in the right spot, because I'm trying to break some generational curses, and I'm trying to change my ways and change, how I do certain things so I can elevate to wherever it's meant for me to be and all the blessings that I know God has in store for me. So, yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right.
Did you?
then-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
But like you're talking about generational curses. What generational curses do you feel like you have overcame? And also, I seen you repost something that said, "I am the generational cure,"
Yeah.
which I love that.
Yeah.
But
Hit
like,
Boy. Shout out Hit Boy.
yeah,
Oh, Hit Boy, he was making slappers.
Mm-hmm.
It's some generational curses. I really, it's just like, as a people, we talk about Black African people or Moors, however you want to call us, Balanians, like, there's
Whoever we are. Yeah.
shoot, there's so many things that we've been through before. So, like, I'm really heavy on education too. I'm aware of who we were. I went to go see who we were before slavery. So, like, I know, you know what I mean? And then I know, yeah, they started at slavery. But then I know within our bloodline, scientifically and biologically, from being raped and from being, castrated and from being hung and from all these things, messing with our wives in front of us and laughing and, torturing us and messing with our men in front of us. Like, there's so many things within our bloodline that is the reason why Black men now think and feel like we do today. And so my thing is, with knowing that, I'm like, okay, why? Okay, what did my grandfather do? Okay, what did my great-grandfather do? Okay, why did my dad do this? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to bridge the gap. I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe I'm the one to see. And I think that's for all of us. I think now we're at a spot where we have access to a lot of information and we know, but we're kind of like tiptoeing to it, but we're there. We just got to figure it out. And the generational piece with me, myself, it's like, okay, like I said, figuring out what did my grandfather, okay, what did they do wrong? Okay, why does my dad communicate with his dad this way? Why does this, why do we think this way? And I'm trying to change that angle. Like, okay, I know what they've done. Okay, how can I change that? So then when I have a son or like my daughter, then I can communicate things differently.
Mm-hmm.
I can be more social, emotionally available. I can be more aware of like healthy eating because that has to do with it. Or, I can work out and train and take care of my body better so then I can pass that energy on to my kids. If I can't go back to slavery, but I can figure out what happened and I can figure out why we think a certain way. That's why I got a therapist. Because at first I didn't want one.
Mm-hmm.
My girls telling me, like, you should get one on that. And I've been through so many and seeing my boys pass. D-Pick, we played with my cousin Jameer, and D-Pick died. My cousin Jameer got killed, and D-Pick died the night before I flew to Africa. My cousin Jameer got killed 2 days before D-Pick got killed, and I'm flying to Africa not even knowing how to handle that. And so I go there, and we're staying on the Nile River and stuff, and we're talking, me and my girl, we're talking, staying on the Nile River, we're talking, and I pray, and I'm crying, and I'm speaking in tongues and doing all this crazy stuff. So, it's just like a lot going on. So as Black men, we really don't have a lot of places to speak, or we feel like it's weak to speak about it or how we feel. And so we're not socially, emotionally aware of who we are, of how to communicate ourselves. So then that causes us to hold things in, and then when we react to certain things, it comes off a certain way, or we're mad, or we're seen as angry, or we're frustrated, or we may be contemplating harming ourselves and things like that. So that's why that generational thing is so important, because how are we going to actually truly change and become better as Black men or Black women or Asian American and Mexican people? How are we going to truly change if we're not aware and seeing what the real problem is from the core? We just can't keep ignoring it. We can't throw on AI and Oculus and expect them to help us, and that's going to cause us to not face nothing at all. So, that's where that comes from.
Yeah, mental health in our community is huge, and it's kind of bittersweet for me. I see a lot more commercialized ads for it, mental health and therapists and things like that. But me personally, when I personally go and seek therapy or go and look for a therapist or what do they call it? Not therapy, but counseling, just to speak to somebody. And I hope people take this the right way, but it's not for everybody. Everybody has their own ways. I've tried it time and time again, and sometimes it felt like I got something out of that, or I got this off my chest. Sometimes I just need to, like you said, use by the Nile River. I'll go down to Seward Park and be by the water, and that helps me. sometimes I'll go on a run and run till my feet hurt. You know what I mean? So mental health and mental health therapy can if you know yourself well enough, you can heal yourself. And I'm not saying don't go seek a therapist and don't go speak to a professional, but learn yourself and learn what works for you too, because like I said, I've tried time and time again, and I've spoken to other, not just black men, people, and not just black people, but people who've gone to try this mental health therapy thing, and it's like, man, it's just not for me, and I'm afraid to say that. It's like, don't be afraid to say it, bro. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But make sure you figure out something that's healthy, that works for you, because smoking about it, that's holding it in. You know what I mean?
It just blinds you.
It's blinding it. Drugs is, and I don't even really consider. I personally don't consider weed a drug, but alcoholism and certain addictions, those don't heal you. But if you have like a healthy outlet, like Jaden, who was on, you were talking about going to the gym, that's healthy. If you have a great spouse or a partner or whatever, that's healthy. That can also listen, but also give you constructive criticism and feedback on how to deal with some of the problems. That's healthy. Church leaders, coaches, whatever. If you can reach out to those people first, or deal with it on your own first, then do that.
And that's what I did. Yeah. Like at first, like I tell you, like I wasn't on the. I'm like, therapy. I'm not doing that.
I don't knock it, but
definitely, yeah. Like I definitely agree with you too. Like I definitely had a journey. Like I really focused on myself, and all that. And it's all about timing too. Like you said, it's either not for you or it is for you. It's all about timing, and when you're ready to be open to whatever else can help. But yeah, it was more so. Definitely, I worked on myself, and then I was like, all right, I'll just try it. And then it's a brother too, so it was like I trusted him. So it was like
that makes a difference.
Yeah,
I went to a therapist, and she was a black woman, and it changed the game.
It does change.
It does.
I was like, we see each other, okay?
It's not like a movie.
Yeah.
I was on ATL. The show Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
ATL.
yeah.
It felt like I was on like a show like that.
Yeah.
Which and we started off as a couple. So like me and my girl, we started off going together as a couple. Yeah. And then it was like I just want to do it myself, because there's some things I need to work on individually. Yeah. But yeah, like it's different when they look like you. Yeah. It's like they're invested, and the intentions is different because they know. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, for sure, there's so many different ways we can get our minds right. It doesn't have to be that. So, but for sure, I agree.
To touch on that, as you be saying, you be telling us to meditate. I still do it now, cause like last year I was dealing with some mental things, and I used to always go down to the beach when the sun's finna set, and I used to lay out like a mat and just like listen to like the water, and just like it helped out like a lot, and I still do it now. And it was crazy because when you said like just meditate, I'm just like, man, like we're all like on the same type of path, because it helps like your mind, like it makes you feel good. So
sure, that breathing goes to the brain.
Everything.
That's some powerful stuff right there.
Detox.
Yeah, it's powerful.
I see you got the tattoo, Fly Above. When did you get that tattooed? What year, or if you remember?
It's like before I had my daughter. I trademarked it, so I was like,
where is it?
Right here.
Oh, dope.
So I had a shout out to Calvin. I had the homie Calvin, who we grew up playing against each other, and Calvin, he does tattoos. I respect other brothers' businesses and stuff like that, whoever's trying to make moves. And so I reached out to him. He was in Beering at the time, and he was able to get that tatted on me. So yeah.
What's his Instagram?
I think it's, I don't know if he changed it, Calvin Inc. or Inc. something. I don't know if he changed it.
Well, I think he did. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, he's good people. I haven't spoke to him in a while, but yeah, he's doing his thing.